Hey, hi, thanks for coming back. I have something else that I wanted to show you guys today. I know I just made another video, but I saw on the internet the OT levels actually in writing. Yes, OT3 has been over on Operation Clambake, but I have not actually seen this, and it was really interesting to see the written actually what happens. It's a bit of a long read, but it's worth it. If you've always gone like, well, what is it? What are the OT levels? What do they consist of? This is actually how it's written out. I did the old like OT1. It has OT1, the old one, and the new one. The new one you won't, unless you're a Scientologist, you won't understand it. But the old one, you definitely see. I mean, it was so BS. It's like walk around and look at some female bodies and have a realization. A cognition is a realization. Walk around and look at some male bodies and have a realization. It was so weird. Anyway, that was OT1. OT2 is a thing where it's like, you're supposed to be auditing. Again, you're auditing yourself. And it's like, think of something hot, think of something cold, think of something up, think of something down, think of hatred, love, everything that was the opposites, right? I don't know what happened on that level. I really don't. But I did have a lot of things that, the meter seemed to me moving like mad. It was very weird. I at the time didn't really even know myself, but it did seem like something was happening. And then OT3, of course, is Xenu and the space aliens, the BTs and clusters, that whole thing, which is over on xenu.net, xenu.net, if you want to read the handwritten thing. And I think it's in this. I'm going to put the link in here for the OT levels. And it goes all the way up through them. But, OT4 is having to do with drugs for OTs, any drug effects for OTs. OT5 is more of OT3, only now the body thetans you're dealing with, A, are unconscious. B, so you have to wake them up. B, and I know that sounds really crazy. The whole thing is really crazy, but that's a whole nother issue. B, they could be anywhere, in OT3, they're on your body or, like closely around you that can affect you. And so it's any problems you have is because of these body thetans, right? And a thetan is a spirit. So they're like, there's spirits around you. And you have to get rid of them. You have to contact them, locate them, get rid of them on OT3. So now OT5, they're unconscious, number one. So you have to wake them up. And they can be on your body, they can be inside your body, they can be 10 feet away, they can be 100 feet away, they can be 1,000 feet away. They can be, if I'm in LA, they can be in New York. They can be 1,000 miles up into the sky. It can be anywhere. And you can see how that could technically drive someone insane. And it did. I do think, I know people who went nuts on, especially OT5 through 7. Lots of people die on those levels. It's very dangerous. And Scientologists, if you're in, you could be laughing, but think of all the people we know from OT5 through 7 or 8 that are dead. It's frightening how many people died. And as a review auditor, which is somebody who fixes things up, who was an OT8 review auditor, called me and we both were talking about it. And we both agreed, medical science has proven what you envision with your body can seriously affect it. And she left because of this. So many OT8s died. She left. She said it was just unbelievable. And it is. It really is when you're in. It's just like, wait a minute, he died, she died, they died. And they're like often young people and no reason. They just dropped over dead. It's like unbelievable. But if you think of these people are envisioning 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, weeks, months, often years. I was on OT7 for 7 years. If you're really envisioning and believing that these things are affecting you, it could really affect what happens to you medically. Now, I got on OT7 and it was just like, this is just more of this same shit. It really pissed me off because Barry Klein had said you could heal people once you get on OT7. So, I mean, he gave examples of like, well, Mrs. So-and-so had a broken arm and I went in session and now she's all better. And so I figured, okay, great. I know what to do. You can heal people. And that's why I got in Scientology anyway, to help others. So I was like, perfect. This is going to be great. So then when there was nothing about healing, it was like, well, what the hell is this? And I was sent right to cramming correction. And they basically in a secret room said, look, here's the tech. That's all it is. There's nothing else. Nothing. Not a thing extra. And I was like, well, what about Barry Klein? And I was like, we can't answer for that, but there's nothing in the tech about it. So I'm going to put the links to all these OT levels. So if you're really curious, you can read about it because it really does define how they are. And enough people have asked me about them. You can scroll through them and read them and, read as much as you want to read. But anyway, I'm going to put the link in there so that if you want to, you can click on it and read through it. There you go. I don't recommend them. I don't think they work. It's tricky because it's a mind control thing, peer pressure, everybody's positive, this level will help you and the next level, and okay, that didn't really do it, but the next level will. And it's this constant, we've had such huge wins on it. If you've never watched it, I'm going to put the link in here too. It's OT's Speaking Freely. And it's me, Peter Alexander, and Greg and Deborah Barnes. And it's in 2000, we'd all just left, and we were sitting in their living room, literally just sharing these stories of how awful it was and different things that had happened to each of us. And I said to Bunker, turn on the camera. We got to get this on film. I had never seen anything like this on the internet. And it's a really good video. So I'll put that in the links too. OT's Speaking Freely. So anyway, there you go. I don't recommend wasting a dime, a minute on the OT levels because, as James Randi has said for years, he will pay someone $1 million if they can prove that they have these extra powers, these, secret, top secret, better than the world powers. If you can prove it, he'll give you $1 million. Now, not one OT in Scientology has ever gone to see James Randi to prove it. And that's just one thing. I mean, it's a high crime in Scientology to even ask them to show any kind of proof. I mean, you can be declared suppressive if someone asks you to prove it. So it's designed. It's a total trap. It's designed to keep you in, trap you in, keep you in, and get you to stop looking. And the higher up you are, the less you can look, the less you can talk to people, the less, until pretty soon you're just like there in there all by yourself, and they're going, that's right, because of you. It's like, I'm here to tell you it isn't because of you. It's because of a bullshit system that doesn't work. Don't get trapped in it. Come on out if you're in. And Harold Bazazian, that means you too. And Bill Yachty, you can come out too. I know I've said a lot about you, but you guys don't keep supporting that group. It's a bullshit group, and you have to know it by now. All right, so everybody who is exposing it, peace out. Remember the links are in here. I love you. Bye-bye.